To solve Leetcode problem 2711, difference of number of distinct values are diagonals. So the description is very long, so it's difficult to understand, but it's really easy to do. So we have to understand the description first. Yeah. So we are given a 2D matrix, so it is a grid, and there are two definitions of top left and bottom right. So we are giving a few examples to explain what is the top left and what is bottom right. So for example, for this cell, the bottom right is this one and this one. And there's another example. So for this cell, so this is the top left, and this is the bottom right. So we are going to, for each of the cell, we're gonna get a value. So for example, 1, 1, at this place, we're gonna get a value, this 1, 1. But what is the value gonna be? We're gonna count the distinct numbers at the top left or at the bottom right. So at the top left, there's one number. At the bottom right, there's also one number. So we're gonna return the absolute value, 1 minus 1 with absolute. So it's gonna be 0. So this is why this value at 1, 1 is gonna be 0. So if we understand the problem, it's gonna be really easy to solve. Yeah. So let's just prepare some parameters for the grid. So we're gonna prepare the length of the grid with R and capital C, length of the grid 0. Now we can do it immediately. So for R in range, capital R, and for C in range with capital C. We're going to put the possible result into a result array. So the result would be a 2D array. So it's going to be 0 times C for R in range with capital R. So we're going to define a 2D array, because finally we're going to return the result. Yeah, but before that, we're going to calculate how many numbers at the top left and how many distinct numbers at the bottom right. And we can use a set. So for the top left, we're going to define a set. Now we are going to calculate how many distinct numbers at the top left. So we're going to prepare two variables, x and y. At the top left, it should be r minus 1 and c minus 1. And then we're going to use a while tag. So while x more than or equal to 0 and y more than or equal to 0, because it is at the top left. So the boundary case is 0. It cannot be less than 0. It must be more than or equal to 0, because it is at the top left for each of the numbers. So we're gonna put the numbers inside the top left set. So it's gonna add the grid with x and y, and xy would be updated to x minus 1 and y similarly to y minus 1. Now we can copy the code to prepare the bottom right. Yeah, so here gonna be the bottom right. Yeah, let me just copy it to the bottom right. So xy similarly here gonna be r plus 1 and c plus 1, because at the bottom right the x and y should be updated to one position at the bottom right. It should be r plus 1 and c plus 1. And here x would be less than the capital R, because it is the bottom right. Yeah, and similarly for y, it should be less than capital C. Now the bottom right should add the grid, and x should plus 1, and similarly for y should plus 1. Now we can put it inside our result. So the result with RC should be equal to the absolute value of the length of top left minus the length of the bottom right. Just the absolute minus absolute value of the two numbers. So the first number is the length of the top left set, and the second value is bottom right set, the length of the bottom right set. Finally, we just need to return this result. Now let me run it to check if it works. I think it's because of the internet issues. I might need to copy the code and open a new tab. Yeah, just it's gonna be fast, I think, because it's really slow. As you can see, it didn't work. Now if I open a new tab, let me, yeah, I have to wait. Yeah, it's really slow. Let me just open yeah, let me try to reopen a new tab. Maybe it's gonna work. I didn't see the result because of the internet error. Maybe I try to submit it. Maybe it works. Yeah, as you can see now it works. And the time complexity is n-cubic because there's 2 for loops and a while loop. So it is n-cubic, and this n is 50 because the maximum of m and n is 50. Thank you for watching. See you next time.